Do you have any story ideas?
Only in the case of the spring.
Okay, do we have any other story ideas?
Only in the case of the eating people.
Okay, the not eating people. Interesting. Greta, did you have one?
Of the only eating food person.
Okay. Let me think about that for a minute. Ollie was given a rather unusual task by the governor. He said, Ollie, I've got some strange folks here visiting, and I need you to figure out what their deal is. I mean, they say they're just regular people visiting from Eastern Europe, but something's amiss, something's off, and I don't get what it is. I need you to figure it out. So what I want you to do is the story we're going to tell them is that you are going to host them, you're going to tour them around Baltimore. And really do that. Show them all the sights. Do it up. Have a good time. But I want you to be observing them. I want you to try and figure out what their deal is. What's the real deal? I said, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I assume that the state's picking up the tab for whatever we do, right? Yeah, don't go crazy, but yeah, take them out on the town. Show them a good time. I said, all right. So, the people, they were coming from Annapolis, like right now, I mean, and they brought them to Baltimore in one of those like big vans, big ones that like basketball teams travel in.
Mm-hmm.
And Ollie met them down there at the Inner Harbor. And, they looked mostly like regular people. There's a mix of blonde-haired people and brown and black-haired people. People had different, skin tones. People were tall, people were short, they were all pretty much all fairly thin. And although I looked at it, really, there was like it wasn't exactly that some were tall and some were short. It was that there was like a division. Like there were some short ones and there were some tall ones. There weren't a whole lot of people in between. So I was just trying to make observations. He decided that he would try not to write anything down, because that might look weird, If he's supposed to be a tour guide, he wouldn't be writing things down about people. So he's going to try and keep it all in his head. So he came over and he said, hey, you guys are the tour group, right? I said, oh, yeah, we're the tour group. Yes, I'm excited to see Baltimore. I've heard about it. All the way over in Eastern Europe, I said, great. Well, I've lived here for several years now, and it's my home. So I'm really excited that the state's going to pay for us to go and have a good time. And what a great place to start here at the Inner Harbor. So I started showing them around, showed them the USS Constellation. They all thought that was very interesting. And they went to the Maryland Science Center. You can just click on it. I wasn't during the Christmas Village. That would have been too much.
But he could have. He told them, did he tell them?
Sure. Yeah, he said some of the things that go on, there at the Inner Harbor, like the Christmas Village and
Tuba Christmas,
and the other concerts
which
there
we
at the
did
amphitheater.
see.
Okay, that's not. Don't get too loud. I said, well, it's getting toward lunchtime. I guess we should get some food. They all kind of looked uncomfortable. I said, we're not really all that hungry, but maybe something light. Is there like a smoothie place or something? I said, sure. Yeah, I think there is a smoothie place in one of the pavilions. Yeah, there's a smoothie place in here. Sure. So they went in, and basically all the short ones got smoothies, and the tall ones didn't really get anything. They got some waters. I thought that was a little unusual. But maybe, maybe they ate before they left. I didn't want to think too much into it. So the ones that had smoothies. All had a smoothie. Some of them went to the bathroom, especially the tall ones. And them all, went about on their day. Now they were an interesting group. They were nice, pleasant, had interesting questions. The Well, some were asking about how tall the World Trade Center there is and how old it was relative to the World Trade Center in New York City that used to be there, and they rebuilt it there. But interesting questions about history and about numbers and about how high things were and about how deep the harbor was. They even had some questions that all I didn't know. I didn't know how deep the harbor was. It's like, geez, I guess it's pretty deep because some pretty big boats can come in here. But that's a good question. I know the outer harbor is dredged. God, I'll have to look that up. I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see if we find a harbor master. We can ask them. I bet, or maybe one of the people on the historical ships knows. So then they went to the aquarium, and everyone loved that. That was really great. Yeah, they went on the USS Constellation. They didn't do the whole Maritime Museum, but they went on the USS Constellation. When they got up to the butterfly garden.
Dad,
Yes?
don't you have like a little picture of Ollie? That Ollie like looks like?
Yes, but that's not relevant right now, honey. Can you please pipe down? It's a bedtime story. I'm not getting outrada with lots of random questions. But then we're going to go upstairs and see the butterfly garden, but all of them really got nervous then. And they said, I'd rather not. I'm not a big fan of bugs, some of them said. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to see. Maybe we could skip the butterfly garden. I said, all right, whatever, it's fine. I said, well, does anyone want a coffee? I could use a coffee. And none of the short people wanted coffee. A bunch of the tall people did, and all got a coffee. And they all sipped their coffee. They all had their coffee black. Every single one of them. I said, wow, you all like your coffee black? And I said, oh, yes. We don't drink a lot of sugar or cream back in our home. So we like it black, yes. So they sipped their coffee, and they just kind of hung out there on by the inner harbor. Said, all right, well, let's. I wanted to show you some other things in other parts of the city, so let's go get back on the tour bus. And I've got a couple of spots I want to show you. I said, okay, yes, hold on. I think everyone needs to use the restroom, though. And pretty much all of the tall ones went and used the restroom. Some of the short ones, too. Huh, I said. So I got back on the tour bus, and they showed them around, and he wanted to show them some of the sites downtown, kind of by bus. Things like the Wheelabrator, the trash burning plant.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, and the casino, that's kind of new, and several of the tall ones were really interested in the casino. It's like, so it's all a numbers game. I said, yeah, well, it's probabilities. Interesting. We don't have much of that back home. It is, but the house always wins, you say. I said, yeah. I mean, it really is, as you said, a lot of math. And they just have the game set up to where an individual might win, but overall, the crowd loses to the house by a lot every time. That's the stuff. That's very interesting. I'd like to go study that a little further sometime. Maybe, yeah, that's great. Does it cost you to pay to get in? I said, no, they let you in for free. They want people to come. They have good food and a good bar, and they make it fun. I mean, they have concerts and stuff. I've been a couple of times. I don't really gamble, but it's an entertaining place to be, for sure. But that's how they get you in. Some people develop real problem gambling. Or real problems gambling. Stop it, also. So anyway, then they went uptown a little bit. He wanted to show them Hamden. And they drove by. I said, that's the old prison. I don't know if it's active right now. I mean, that's definitely still the intake center. I said, the intake center, what's that mean? Say, well, anybody gets arrested anywhere in Baltimore, they bring them there to, process their paperwork and turn them into the jailers. Oh, interesting. They got up to Hamden. A bunch of the short ones said that they were hungry again and asked if there was any place where they could get like some fruit or more smoothies. I thought about it. I said, man, I like smoothies. But there is a smoothie place on the avenue. So they went and they got smoothies again. Stop fidgeting right now. And they saw the sights in Hamden. I had another coffee at some point. Some of the tall ones had coffee, the others didn't. Made another bathroom run. There again, they had lots of questions about numbers, about how many people live in the area, how many people shop in the area. And once again, the shorter ones all seem very curious about how tall the buildings were and how they're and like the elevation, not just how all buildings were, but like how tall, how high they up were relative to downtown. I said, well, there's a restaurant here. I don't know if they're active right now because of the pandemic and all that. But there's a restaurant at the top of a senior apartment building. We can go by there. We can even see if we can go in. And that's the highest, that restaurant at the top of that building is the highest point in Baltimore. And from there you can see everything for miles and miles. Oh yeah, we'd love to go see that. Everyone was excited about that idea. So they did go up there. And they asked at the desk. The guy said, well, there's not actually the restaurant isn't open there right now, but you got a whole tour group. Let me talk to the building manager. I bet we could let you up there. And I talked to the building manager, and the building manager said, sure, I'll take you up there, no problem. Yeah, the restaurant that was up there unfortunately shut down, and we haven't gotten anybody else in there, but we'd be happy to show you around. It's a great spot. So they went up there, and oh man, they really liked that. They liked that they could see it for miles. They had like yeah. Like heights?
I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, it's a cool restaurant though. It used to be part of the Diz. Anyway.
Wait, is it actually real?
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely a.
Wait, tell them.
We can talk about it later.
Some about our church.
So after that, they said, so what time do we need to get you back to Annapolis? I said, oh, we should probably be heading back. I said, all right, well, I'll ride with you for a little bit, and I'll take a taxi back up. So I got back in the van and started riding toward, back toward downtown. And I said, so where are you guys? Where are you all from exactly? I said, oh, it's a small Eastern European town, beep, boop, 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 that kind of a thing. It's not one you'd recognize. But we were sent by the government to kind of check it out and see about doing like a sister city program. I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. I think this is my stop. So it's been lovely meeting you, and I hope you come back. So I have to off the van and said his goodbyes, and they all said goodbyes. And just a few minutes later, I got a call from the governor. He said, so what'd you find out? I said, well, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm pretty sure they are in disguise. And the governor said, yeah, okay, well, what are they disguised as? I said, no, the Eastern Europeans thing, that's the disguise. Oh, well, what are they really then? So you're going to think I'm crazy here, but hear me out. I think the short ones are fruit bats, and the tall ones are robots. No silence in the line. Fruit bats and robots, Ollie? I said, yeah. I watched them very carefully. The short ones, all they ate all day long was fruit. And the tall ones, all they wanted to know about was data, numbers, things they could crunch, things they could calculate. At one point, one of them slipped up and even said his hometown was called Beep Beep Boop Boop. And we got to the butterfly garden at the aquarium. None of them wanted to go in, but I could see all the short ones were just staring at it, almost drooling. But they said they were fruit bats. I said, yeah, well, fruit bats also eat bugs. Oh, I see. So you think I've got secret bat people and robot people? I think it sounds bonkers. I recognize that. But that's what I think. And maybe you got some clever people that can look into it a little more. Because they're heading back to Annapolis now. All right, Ollie. This is a little weird, but you're usually right. So I'll look into it some more. Thank you, Ollie. And yeah, you can just send your bill with the expenses and your time. Usual place. I said, great, great. Will you call me and let me know? Oh yeah, we'll let you know. So a few days went by. I sort of stopped thinking about it. And then he got a call. It's from the governor's assistant. His name's Mary. I said, oh, hey, Mary, what's going on? Is everything okay with my invoice? Oh, yeah, everything's okay with your invoice, but I thought you might want to know you were 100% on the money. I said, what do you mean? Well, we came to pick them up. We were going to show them around Washington, D.C., and about half of the tall ones are just lying, slumped over, their eyes wide open. And the other ones were trying to plug them in. Meanwhile, the short ones, well, there was people suits, and inside were giant fruit bats, just like he'd said. It was very weird. It was a very weird thing to walk in on. I said, you walked in on it yourself? It was you that found them? I said, yeah, I didn't mean to bust in on them like that. I knocked and no one answered in one of the hotel rooms. And so the door was ajar, so I just walked in, and they were all very embarrassed. But I pointed out to them it's not illegal for bats or robots to visit. So we're working it out. They're going to tell us where they're really from and what they're really after. But when I heard what you thought they were, I thought you'd lost it. I thought we were going to find a new private eye for future jobs. But Ollie, you're right on the money again. The people that didn't eat, they were robots. The people that only ate fruit, they were fruit bats. It was all very strange. Oh, and the weirdest one, as I was leaving, one of their arms, they were trying to get a plug in somewhere. One of the arms came off and this loud sproing, sproing, sproing. So, it's one of the weirder ones I've encountered, Ollie. But you were 100% right. And that was Ollie, in the case. The sproing, the people that didn't eat, and the people that ate on the fruit.